So in this particular lecture, let's style up this page, which is /post/create, and that page is nothing but it's actually this create.html which we have up over here. Now styling this thing is pretty straightforward and simple. The only thing that needs to be done is we have to use the field names which we have inside the edit.html or password change form.html. So you could do that by simply taking the entire form which you have or the entire code which you have. So let's get that real quick, and let's simply go to create, and here let's replace everything with the code which we currently have, and let's start making some modifications. So first and foremost modification is that I changed the title of this thing to, let's say, create a post. You could also change the emoji here. Let's say I use this emoji for that particular post because we are uploading an image, and here we don't want this particular error container because this form is not going to have any kind of errors. So let's get rid of that. And after that, if you actually want to get the fields which you have up over here, you could simply inspect them and you will be able to find the field names. So the field name for this thing is title, then we have the image, then caption and post. So the names of these things are pretty straightforward and you don't have to go through them. So you simply have to change the labels here. So the first one is going to be for the title. So I would say add title. I will change the form to something like form.title because this is accepting the post title. After this, we want to accept an image. So instead of new password, I would change this thing to image. Let's change the label of this thing to upload image. Also, we have to change this thing to caption. So here I would say add caption. Let's change the name of the fields to caption. Now once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. And one more thing that could be done here is that if you have this form, so let's first take a look at the form right up over here. So this is what the form looks like, and what could be done is that you could actually go ahead and add a kind of shadow and a little bit of background to this particular form which you have. So let's go ahead and let's add that extra styling here. So you could add that styling right up to this form here. So let's add a class to this. So let's say the BG of this thing is white. Let's add some shadow, and the shadow is going to be of a medium size. So shadow MD. If I do that, now as you can see, I'm not sure if you're able to see, but you kind of have the shadow here. But you'll also notice that even after adding shadow, there's actually no margin for this form over here, and the fields are kind of stuck to the left. So let's add a margin of 10 as well. So M10 from all sides. And I guess you need to add some padding here instead of margin. So let's also add a padding of 8 on the x-axis. Now it's not kind of cramped up. And now one more thing that could be done here is that you could actually make this form as rounded. So I would say rounded as well. Let's add some padding at the top as well. Let's add some padding at the bottom as well. Let's add some margin at the bottom. So MB4. Okay, so now if I hit refresh, this is what the form is going to look like. And if you feel that the width of this form is a little bit larger, you could actually also set the width as well. So I could make the width of this thing to 4/5 of the original size which I have. And if I hit refresh, as you can see, the width of this particular form has decreased a bit. Now one more thing which you could do here is that you also have this edit user profile form, and in order to make this thing look better, you could also add the same class to that particular form as well. So I could simply go ahead, copy the entire class which I have here, go to edit.html and simply paste that particular class up over here inside this form. So as I do that, as you can see, now the edit user profile form is styled in a much more better way. And the same could also be done with the other forms as well which we have. So for example, if I go to users/change password, or sorry, that should be password change. So if I go to password change, this is the form which we have. But now I could actually go ahead and add that particular styling up right to the form which I have by simply pasting that particular class And if I hit refresh, this is what the form is going to look like, and it looks pretty neat and clean as compared to before. So this is how you could go ahead and style up the pages which you have, and there are also a lot of other pages as well which we are yet to style. But what you could do is that you could use the same logic which we have been using in the previous lectures. Simply go ahead, take these particular forms and convert them and style them up as well. So it's actually better if you do that on your own, because doing that would be quite repetitive. So in the next lecture, what we will be doing is that we will be actually creating a common user feed page. So currently, if you go to users, as you can see, this will only show your very posts here. But let's say if you want to get the post for all the users which you have up over here registered on this particular social media website, so all the posts will be displayed in a single page, and that page would be called as a common user feed page. So in the next lecture, let's go ahead and let's design a common user feed page which displays posts from all the users, rather than displaying the post of a single user, or rather than displaying our very own posts. So let's do that in the next lecture.